Okay, this is part 2 of the chapter 3 review. We're looking at z-scores, and so we have to open this in Excel, or you can work it on your paper. So I've already set this up using the formula, but what we're going to do is we have to know the mean, the standard deviation, and we have to get the standard deviation, we first have to get the variance. So we could do this quickly by just using the average formula for the mean, and it wanted us to round to 2 decimal places. And then the variance, this is a sample, so we would highlight that and get the variance and round it to 2 decimal places. And then the standard deviation would just be the square root of what we just got, and we would round that to 2 decimal places. Now let's just use the formula just so you can get a little review of the formula. I've listed the x's out. Now I just need to get the sum. So you, in your calculator, you would add all of these up. Then you have to get, after the sum of x, you have to square that number. So we're going to square the sum of the x's. Now we're going to square each x value. This is all because of the formula that we're doing this. So we're going to square each one of these numbers, and then we're going to sum all of our x squares. Okay, so that is our numbers, and then n is going to be 9. So remember, n is 9. So for our formula, we're going to do equals the sum of x squared, the sum of the x squares, minus the sum of your x's, and then square that number, which was 3481, divided by n, which is 9, and after we get that number, we want to divide that by n minus 1, so 9 minus 1 would be 8. Then what we want to do, so that is our variance, which is what we got, right? 13.28. If we were to round this, we would get 13.28. And I'm going to put that right here. Okay, and then for standard deviation, you would just do the square root of that number. So I'm showing you that there's the formula, and then we also used Excel, and you're still going to get the same number. Now, we have to do the z-score, so there was multiple steps here. The z-score for 4, we're going to do that one first. So the formula is x, which is 4, minus x bar, which is your mean. We know our mean is 6.56. And then we're going to divide that by our standard deviation, which is 3.64. So we get negative 0.70, which is the correct answer. For the next one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do 8 for x this time. X bar, your mean, is 6.56. Then you're going to divide that by your standard deviation, which is 3.64. So you get 0.40, which is what we got. And then let's do the next one. Equal parenthesis 7 minus the mean divided by the standard deviation, and you get 0.12, which is right. And now we're going to do parenthesis 10 minus the mean divided by your standard deviation, and you get 0.95. And so that is how you calculate the z-score. Okay, for this one, we're given a grouped sample data table. So now we're going to find the approximate mean and the approximate standard deviation. So I've set the formula up, and for each group, we've got to find the midpoint. So you're going to do 5 plus 10 divided by 2. And you're going to do 10 plus 15 divided by 2. And everything I'm showing you, you could do in your calculator. And you can kind of see the pattern here. And then we're going to list the frequencies, and then we'll be ready to get the mean. 9, 29, 25, and 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to times, it says the frequency times the mean. So your frequency times your mean, times your midpoint, and copy that down. And then we're going to do the sum of that. So the sum of your frequency times your midpoint. Okay, so it says the sum of frequency times midpoint is 1482.5. So to get the mean, we're going to take this divided by, we have 2756. I can't remember exactly. Maybe they didn't give us that, so we will just add those together here. And we could do it right here, equals okay, so it is 87. Alright, so you're going to do your sum of your frequencies divided by 87. So your mean, it says around to 3 decimal places is needed. So let's see if that's right. 17.040. Now we have to find the approximate standard deviation. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to follow this formula, and we need to take the midpoint, subtract the mean, square that, and times it by the frequency. And then we're going to add those numbers up. So I'm going to shorten this instead of doing it in multiple steps. So I'm going to do equals parenthesis the midpoint minus the mean, which is 17.04. And then I'm going to square that, and then I'm going to times it by the frequency and get my number. And I believe we're rounding to 4. No, we're rounding to 3. All right, and I'm just going to copy that formula down. Okay, and then I'm going to get the sum of these numbers. Okay, and then there's my number that I need for the numerator. So to get my variance, I'm going to do, it says all of this which is this number right here, divided by n minus 1, and n was 87, so n minus 1 would be 86. So then we're going to round this, because it said to round to 3 as needed. So the standard deviation is going to be the square root of the variance. So looks like it's going to be 6.130. So hopefully that will help you get through that problem, because it does have a lot of steps. Okay, for this part, I need to find the 15th, 35th, and 85th percentile. So I'm going to show you how to use the formula and how to use Excel. So we are rounding, don't round. Okay, it says do not round. So we're going to, let's do the formula first. And I believe, let me just check. Here's the formula we're going to use. Okay, so let's look at this. So, that's our array, and we want the 15th percentile. And so when you do that, you do percentile.exe, and you highlight this array, and then you put 0.15, and you get 13.5, which technically they will accept any of these three answers. But let me show you how to do this using the formula. So here, if you did I, you would do percentile, which is 15th percentile divided by 100 times n. And here n is 9. Messed up. Alright, times 9. So this tells me that if it is a decimal, you go to the next one. So it would be the second number. But what I need to do is arrange these in order. And so the second number would be 14. And 14 is an answer as well. Alright, for the 35th percentile, to do the formula, so we would get 14 if we use the formula. And then over here, this is Excel. Alright, so for the next one, you're going to highlight the array, and then K is 9. Sorry, K is not 9. We're doing the 35th percentile, so K is 0.35. Okay, so we get 21.5, and if we do the formula, we would get 35 divided by 100 times 9. So the 3.15 index, we're going to round up to the fourth number. So the fourth number is 25. So with Excel, we got 21.5. So there's that answer. And then with the formula, you get 25. So it's going to take either one of those. Now the 85th percentile, is going to be 37. And if you do the index, you would get the 8th number, which is 36. So there's 36 and there's 37. So you can do it either way. Please let me know if you have any questions.